Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to share with you guys today that my UPHOLD card has come in the mail, my physical card. I've already been using my card on UPHOLD itself in a digital way, adding money to it, and choosing my funding source, which I'm using stable coins. So I can now spend my crypto stable coins or SHX, and there's a few other tokens that that you can choose, and you can spend them as if you spending your fiat, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. And with that, let's get into the video. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. This is the DeFi Crypto Sensei, also known as the Pendecker, where we do crypto kung fu with you all day long, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, I'm very happy that I got my my UPHOLD card, because as I explained before, UPHOLD can indeed serve as your bank in this new financial system, ladies and gentlemen, that we are all headed for. So do not get caught or left behind in the fiat system, ladies and gentlemen, because as you can see, I got my favorite page up here, which is the debt clock, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are in fiat, this is what's happening. More importantly, if you look right here at the U.S. national debt, we are going up $1 trillion every 60 to 85 days, ladies and gentlemen. Some people say between 60 and 100, but it's neither really here nor there. We don't need to be exact with this thing, but what we do understand is that in a few short years, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if it's going to be 5 years, 6 years, or 8 years, but in a few short years, we will be doing $1 trillion every 24 hours. The purchasing power of a dollar is already at 2 cents. Soon it'll be 1 cent, it'll be 0. It's probably already 1 cent, but it'll be at 0. And once it hits 0, then it's going to go -1, -2, -3, until you're going to shake your head twice and a loaf of bread will be $45, ladies and gentlemen. So we are here to remedy that, okay? We do not need to fear the future, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be a part of it, okay? And with that, what we're here to talk about today is we're here to talk about the Great Deception, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the Great Deception is about Bitcoin and or so-called Bitcoin. But before we get into that, and then I'm going to show you guys how to actually make some money, because let me tell you a quick story. I went to the bank a couple of weeks ago, and I was putting some money into the bank. So when my wife and I stepped out of the bank, we saw this guy. He's about 15 yards away from us, and he says, "Hey, you need to invest your money. Investment is the way of the future." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So I kind of played a little stupid. I said, "Really?" I said, "So how do we invest our money?" I'm just trying to see what he knows, And he says, "Well, you got to do this. You got to be in the right vibration and this, that, and the other." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, I understand all of that." You know what I'm saying? I'm esoteric. I teach mental cultivation. I'm a martial arts grandmaster. And yeah, I'm there with all of that, But how do we turn $1 into $2? And the guy couldn't tell me. He just kept going on about this so-called religious, spiritual jargon. And I'm like, no, we're not talking about that. I'm like, I understand that all day. Internal kung fu, frequency, vibration, esoteric. I understand all of that. But after we finish meditating in the mountains under the waterfall, how do we turn $1 into $2 in a very practical way? And he couldn't tell me. So that's what I'm here to tell you today about, guys. So after we go through our little spiel of you understanding the Great Deception of 2017, then we're going to go on and I'm going to show you how to actually turn $1 or a couple of dollars into $2. Just giving you some examples of liquidity providing, because what you guys need to understand is I really shine a light on this for a lot of people, because if you look at a lot of the videos, and I'm not here to, be in competition with any other YouTuber, because, there's a lot of YouTubers that says, "Oh, nobody's talking about this. Oh, I'm the only one that's going to tell you this." No. It's not about that. What it's about is understanding that there are a lot of people in crypto that come in with a trader's mentality. And by that, I mean, most people that you see They're so interested in price. What is the price doing? What is the price doing? Oh, it's up. Oh, it's down. Oh, the price. What is the price doing? Oh, everybody's talking about XRP, but the price not going up. The price. And that's all I hear is the price. And if I told you once before, if you've been in my channel, you already know what I'm going to say. If I told you once before, I've told you 1,000 times. Here it is. In quotations. Price is a distraction. If you know what you hold, the price doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, it serves you best if the price is low. Because right now you can get XRP for $2 and some change. Why would you want XRP to go up to $100 before you have a big bag of it? It's much harder to buy XRP at $100 than it is to buy at $2. And if you know that things like XRP, Bitcoin, BitTensor, Zcash, Sui, all, Solana, Base Chain, if you know that these are the coins that will survive and go into the future, why would you want them to go up to a high price right now? Right now, take the gift of them being at a low price so that you can stock up. You want to get yourself 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 XRP. You want to get yourself, a few Bitcoins before it goes out of control, So this is a gift. So price is distraction. And with that, also understand, ladies and gentlemen, that with that trader mentality, the reason why people are so focused on price is because they want to buy low and sell high. See, when you buy low and sell high, that has nothing to do with earning yield. You see, there's no yield in price appreciation. It's just price appreciation, which is why if it goes from 50 cents to $23, people sell, either a portion or all of it, and they go on to the next project. They have no loyalty to that coin or to the community or anything like that. It's just about price appreciation. There's no yield in that. But investors, you see, when you're looking to be the bank, your primary thing is yield, earning an APR or an APY that is long-term, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we want to think long-term. So with that, always remember KINESIS Money, ladies and gentlemen, official tokenized gold and silver. I've been with KINESIS Money, for at least 3 years now. And tokenized gold and silver with a full crypto platform. You can also convert your money into different currencies, like, whether it's Arab Emirates money or other country monies, as far as using USD. Like if you were going to take a trip to Dubai, you will be able to swap some of your currency into Arab Emirates money if you wanted to, right on the platform. So, it's not just tokenized gold. It's also a crypto platform where you can store XRP, Bitcoin, and all of that on the platform. You can convert it. You cannot convert it. It's completely up to you. But most of all, the gold and silver is redeemable, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, as we saw earlier, I use UPHOLD primarily. And more I'm using it more and more as my bank. Because unlike a bank, UPHOLD will not lend your money out. Because you see, when you have a bank or a bank account, they loan your money out. Even if you only put $100 in it, they loan out 90 on that 100. They loan out 80 on that 90. They loan out 70 on that 80, and down till there's nothing left, until they get it down to the most minute. Even when they get it down to $1, they loan out 90 cents on that dollar and 80 cents on that 90, and so on and so forth, until they get it down to the last compound. But with UPHOLD, they don't loan your money out. You can put $100,000 on UPHOLD, and you want to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning, you want to move some or all of that money, you can do so with no questions asked and without 3-letter people breathing down your throat. And also you have MEXC here. I use MEXC every day. And you can actually, the links for all of these, my referral links, will be down in the description below. And once again, please do not go and try and find these things yourself, because that is the easiest way to trip across a phishing or a hacking site, ladies and gentlemen. And you will not be able to tell, because the hacking fake sites look identical to the real one. All right. So please use the links down in the description below. in order to get these foundational tools for you to start getting this crypto, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, let's continue to go on, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to look at this right here. We're going to look at what is being sent out by the BSV community, ladies and gentlemen. And I am a part of that community because I practice utilizing the original Bitcoin protocol. And BSV, Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision, is the only place you're going to get the original protocol with the ledger intact that goes all the way back to the Genesis block, ladies and gentlemen. So most people, when they talk about Bitcoin, they're not talking about Bitcoin. That's BTC, not Bitcoin. They're calling it Bitcoin, but you're actually talking about BTC, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not going to read this entire argument. I'm just going to highlight the most important aspects for you to start digging down this rabbit hole and understand what's going on with BSV, ladies and gentlemen. But as you know, Bitcoin was invented in 2008 by Satoshi, but that's not even the most important part. The most important part for you to understand is what happened in 2017. In 2017, BTC core developers, in conjunction with other bad actors, penetrated fraud, theft, and the Bitcoin protocol, altering the original Bitcoin system with a technology known as segregated witness, or SegWit. SegWit, by removing, I gotta say that one more time, by removing the digital signatures from the blockchain, has fundamentally altered the Bitcoin system, moving it away from the inventor of the Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto's vision, and violating the very definition of Bitcoin, Satoshi's white paper, as an electronic coin, as a chain of digital signatures. So you can see down here, they give you some examples, but let's take a look at what Richard Hart has to say here. And let's see if we can get the...
To get SegWit, to get, like, 2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing. To get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money, which only has 50% more Bitcoin in it than wrapped Bitcoin, with BitGo as a counterparty on Ethereum, right?
So you see, there's Richard Hart, the creator of...
2 years ago, you got SegWit.
The creator of Hex and the creator of the later known product as Pulse Chain. I don't have any problem with Hex or Pulse Chain. I've done Hex and Pulse Chain, and I still dabble with Pulse Chain here and there. But this is Richard Hart. But he's telling you that he was a part of the lying, cheating, and stealing. Listen for yourself once again.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing. To get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money, which only has 50% more Bitcoin in it than wrapped Bitcoin, with BitGo as a counterparty on Ethereum, right?
So there you have it, from Richard Hart himself, you know. And we also have this little thing here. If you look at the ticker forks and the protocol forks, know and understand BSV is the only protocol that has not forked. It is the original Bitcoin protocol. BSV is not a fork. I'm gonna say that again. BSV is not a fork. It is the original Bitcoin protocol that goes back to the Genesis block, mined by Hal Finney, of course. So here you can see actual. Here's the ticker forks. You got Bitcoin that started originally back in 2008. As it comes down the line, BCH, which is Bitcoin Cash, forked off and came down, and then it came down, and then boom, there's BSV there, and then boom, you come down there, and then there's BTC down there. And if you take a look over here, and this was August 2017. This is what happened in 2017, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happened in 2017. So you look at Bitcoin here. This is actually what goes on. So from Bitcoin, we go all the way down, and you see it's a straight line to BSV. BSV is the only one that has not forked, ladies and gentlemen. So I said all that to say this. This is why I call it the Great Deception of 2017. If we go and we take a look, and we look for BSV, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bitcoin Satoshi's vision. Right now, you can get a full Bitcoin for $18.10, ladies and gentlemen. A full Bitcoin is 100 million Satoshis. And if we go and we look at the info, if we look here at the circulating supply, it's already at 20 million. Max supply is 21 million, as you know. Now, hyper-Bitcoinization is when the whole world finds out at the same time that they're all going to need Bitcoin. But not only is BSV the original protocol, but it is scalable, ladies and gentlemen. It is scalable, meaning that with the larger blocks, it is on the Teranode technology. It is on IPv6 instead of v4, which is true Web3. And it is scalable starting into the millions of transactions per second, scalable into the billions and trillions of transactions per second, ladies and gentlemen, because it is on the new technology. The original Bitcoin protocol with actual peer-to-peer delivering on the promise of Satoshi, okay, without needing so-called lightning and all of this other nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. So if we come down here, there's another thing that I wanted to cover real quick with you guys. And let me just see here. Watch this. There's another important part where it talked about the 21 million coins. I think I passed it already. Hold on a second. Nope. Just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. This is so that you can understand what's going on. Satoshi had always planned for big blocks to be phased in on the Bitcoin network. Now here's some of his original posts from back in the day. The myth that everyone has to run their own Bitcoin node as promoted by BTC Core is not only in alignment with Satoshi's writing, but where he specifically states that the long-term vision for the system was for nodes to be run in server farms. Then it talks about BCH and BTC Core have altered the design. The scripting system described above by Satoshi was also disabled by BTC Core and or Blockstream, because you see it was Jack Dorsey and Greg Maxwell that created the company, and a company called Blockstream now actually controls the narrative of Bitcoin for the banksters, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin was all about getting rid of the banksters, and the banksters found a way to control the narrative of Bitcoin all over again by the creation of BTC, ladies and gentlemen. So if we go down here and we'll look, and it talks about Robinhood and all of that. Hold on one second. All right, right here, ladies and gentlemen, the same people pushing these campaigns to sabotage Satoshi's visions are also lying to retail investors who buy BTC on exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, and Robinhood. They are passing off BTC as Bitcoin. They lie to users about the security and economics of the BTC network, including the famous 21 million coin limit. However, some BTC core developers and experts have admitted this 21 limit cannot coexist with small blocks and a proof of work system. BTC core developers, Peter Todd, for example, have predicted BTC will die unless they add inflation to the system. While BTC will be unable to maintain 21 million coin limit, Bitcoin SV, with its unbounded block size, has the ability to maintain the 21 million limit by allowing large numbers of transactions to serve as the incentive mechanism to accumulate enough small fees to ensure the network and run inflation-free long-term, as Satoshi's white paper describes, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this down in the description below. You can see it right there for yourself at the top of the page, ladies and gentlemen. Just go to that's BTC, not Bitcoin.com, and you'll be able to get this article, or you can click the link in the description down below. Now let's go and let's find out how we can revisit something like the SLUSH wallet, ladies and gentlemen. And inside the SLUSH wallet, there are plenty of activities in order for you to turn $1 into $2, ladies and gentlemen. You can do strategies, you can do lending, you can do the vaults, you can do liquid staking, or you can go over here to the browser, ladies and gentlemen, where you got all of these apps down here that will give you plenty of opportunity to earn yield on your assets, ladies and gentlemen. One of the easiest is Turbos Finance, ladies and gentlemen. If we go into Turbos, I'll show you one position that I have that I just set today. And this, of course, is the swap, where you can go in here, you can swap into any token that you need to swap into. You can go over here to pools, and they have some liquidity pools for you that are already set up. And you see at the top, SUI and USDC, you got 96.22% APR. Deep book and USDC, you got 395.94 APR. You got stablecoin pair, which is 15%, which is awesome for stablecoins. And then you got Lombard BTC and Wrap Bitcoin for 719. And, you know, these are kind of like the top ones right here. And then, of course, beneath that, you got the regular ones. But what I'm doing, if we go over here to my positions, you see I have a position right here. And I got $397 in there. So I got just under $400 there. And I just put this in like just before I made the video, and I've already made $1.12, ladies and gentlemen. You know, what I'll probably do is I'll probably go to my BitTenzer Tau, and I may take some free BitTenzer that I'm not staking and put that in there. So if we go to the sub wallet, ladies and gentlemen, this is one that you can actually lock down with your Keystone Pro, if you will, or a Ledger device. I don't use Ledger. I use Keystone. I don't use Ledger device. I use the Keystone Pro to lock down my wallets, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? Which is a cold wallet. And I use Keystone Pro 3 because it's 100% air gapped. But just to show you guys what's going on here is if we look at the earnings, it shows you that within BitTenzer Tau, which is the Bitcoin of AI, okay, it's earning here with these subnets. Now, BitTenzer Tau is also 21 million coins, but this is the Bitcoin of AI, ladies and gentlemen. And these subnets are what they call alpha tokens that I'm actually investing into or staking in that department and earning emissions. So if we go here and we look at Tau, ladies and gentlemen, you will see, you know, you got Wrap Tau. Also, now you're going to be able to take your BitTenzer Tau into EVM sidechains. You can do subnets on the base chain, and it's just going to blow up really, really high. So you see BitTenzer Tau is $265 now. And you go over here, you see it will only ever be 21 million. They have a circulating supply of 9.6 million now. And BitTenzer is an open source protocol that powers a decentralized blockchain-based machine learning network. Machine learning models train collaboratively and are rewarded in Tau according to the informational value that they offer to the collective. Tau also grants external access, allowing users to extract information from the network while turning its activities to their needs. And you can go and read that for yourself. But if we go back into the sub wallet, ladies and gentlemen, we go here. If we go to the D apps and we go into Tau Stats, ladies and gentlemen, Tau Stats is a great place for you to go and earn, ladies and gentlemen. Tau Stats, and there's Tau Stats right there, IO. And once you go inside the Tau Stats, it'll afford you the ability to get information, to do your staking, and all of that manner of things like that, okay? So you go over here, and you could just kind of poke around it. And if you go to the hamburger menu right here, it'll show you subnets, blockchain, validators, analytics, investors, dashboard, subnets for sale, and the whole nine, ladies and gentlemen. So if you go to the dashboard, you click here, you can go to your portfolio, you can go to staking. I'm going to show you the staking aspect, ladies and gentlemen. So if we go here, It wants me to do an anonymous sign in. So let me go ahead and handle that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I am inside, and this is the staking page. Now, when you go down here, you're going to see some things going on and some of the subnets that I am currently staked to. And when you go down here, staking type, you can go here from simple. You can go to claim and do your claiming style. I like to do manual because it gives me full control. And it shows what you have in your wallet. It shows what you have staked to the root, because root is basically, no volatility. And you can go in here and you stake to the root, and the APY is very low, but that's because there's virtually no risk. The more risk, the more reward, ladies and gentlemen. And then you got your other ones. You got Ridges here, which is one of the best. Shoots, which is like the king of the subnets pretty much right at the moment of this video. And then you got Affine, which has a very high emissions, seeing at this moment in time. But what you can do is you can actually go in here and you can actually look to, let me just go here. You can go and you can look at all of the subnets that are available to you, ladies and gentlemen. There's 128, So this is the Bitcoin of AI, ladies and gentlemen. This is like my #1 project in all of crypto, ladies and gentlemen. So I have my real Bitcoin, which is, BSV. And then we also have, Tau as well. And if you want to go to, this is where all of my BSV wallets are. I use Handcash, I use Rock Wallet, and also of course you got the MEEE wallet, which is a stable coin, which is on the original SHA-256 Terranode technology Bitcoin network, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, you heard me. I told you in my last video about the 4 different types of different stable coins. But this is the first one. The MEEE is the first stable coin that is on the original Bitcoin protocol, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. And this is just a little checkup from the neck up, ladies and gentlemen, to show you what's really going on in the world of crypto, how you can be your own bank, not your coins, not your crypto. If you're into XRP, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you please get a Zamin wallet. And if you want privacy Bitcoin, please use your Zashi wallet so that you can go ahead and get yourself some ZEC and or what's known as Zcash, ladies and gentlemen. Zcash is another boombastic project, which is privacy Bitcoin that has also integrated with near or near intents, where you can shield your transactions, ladies and gentlemen, so that nobody can come and steal your Bitcoin. Or if these governments become corrupt, they won't come and try and lock you up for your Bitcoin because they can't find it. So you have Monero-like protocol doing that, as far as privacy is concerned, ladies and gentlemen. And before we go, I just want to leave you with my other favorite, which is the Zephyr protocol, ladies and gentlemen. This is also like right behind BitTensor. I love Zephyr. I love what it's doing. You're getting anywhere from 50 to 70% back on taking your Zephyr token and then turning it into a privacy stablecoin. And then you could take that privacy stablecoin and turn it into a reserve share token, getting about 50 to 70% on your reserve shares, ladies and gentlemen. And the entire thing is private, ladies and gentlemen. So if you missed that, go back to my Zephyr protocol video I just made a couple of weeks ago. Look on my channel. You're going to see Zephyr right there, and watch that Zephyr video and get in there. You can create, a regular. And Zephyr is also a proof of work coin, ladies and gentlemen. It is a proof of work privacy coin. So this is where you get, you get in where you fit in, ladies and gentlemen. And always remember the principles. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. This is your opportunity from 2025 to 2030. There's $3.9 trillion in all of crypto right now. 2.3 of that is Bitcoin. By 2030, there will be well over $20 trillion in crypto. And if you own the coins of the future, then you will indeed have generational wealth. And the thing about it is this, ladies and gentlemen, before you go, let me just leave you with this. We all know that within the next few years, there will be many crypto millionaires made. All you have to do is decide to be one of them. Fight for your right to be financially independent. This is the DeFi Crypto Sensei signing off, also known as the Pick and Decker, ever reminding you to get this crypto.